when you came into Kansas, you obviously said that you would be the backup big. Coach Self let you know that pretty early on with Hunter coming. What was your idea of your role playing behind Hunter? Did you kind of think that, hey, I fit, I can stretch the floor, I protect the rim well, I play good defense, and I'm an energy guy? Was that kind of your acceptance of your role, or has that role kind of progressed as you've been at Kansas?
It's kind of crazy. I kind of look at it and I try to do basically everything Mitch was, for this team. I don't really look at it as like a backup role, even though that's what it is. It's you got to come off the bench, but really every good team needs a good bench. And I think like you guys have with Mitch, there was never like any drop off. It's just kind of like, it's not really more like, oh, I'll put Mitch in, Dave needs a breather. It's more like, hey, we need Mitch in there, go put Mitch in. We need a good defender, we need a good shot blocker, we need someone who's versatile, plays above the rim, and sets good screens and makes good passes. Just kind of there can't be any drop off. So even though it's a backup role or supportive role, whatever you want to call it, you try to make the most of it and know that there's going to be games where you're asked to play 15, 20 minutes. There's going to be games where you're asked to play 5, and I think that's fine either way. Mitch is someone that I looked up to for sure when I was looking into kind of this role, because he's had a lot of success, and he was obviously very vital to your guys' run and your guys' time here at Kansas. So just making sure that I can be more of an asset rather than a liability, I think, is something that I wanted to be a part of. Hunter's great. Hunter does a lot of great things on both ends of the floor, but I think there's nothing wrong with being able to have a different look, for defenses and offenses, and be able to do things that maybe Hunter can't do, or Hunter is like maybe slacking on, or whatever you want to call it. But just making sure that I'm more of an asset and something that teams have to prepare for, rather than just like, oh, Hunter's in foul trouble, I guess we have to throw Parker out there. I didn't want to be more like that. I wanted to make sure that it was more something where I can be more of a contributor, even if it's limited minutes or whatever, just making sure I'm making the most of whatever opportunity comes.
I think you guys both Mitch blush there for a little bit, Parker. I mean, I saw Mitch's cheeks get all rosy, get all smiley and stuff. that was the nicest thing anybody said.
Mitch was big time. I was there, like you said. I was there throughout that run. Mitch was big time, and even if it's 2 minutes at a time, or if it's 12 minutes at a time, there's going to be games where we can't take Mitch out. He's killing it, and just making sure that you're ready for that next man up kind of mentality. You're really one rolled ankle away from playing 25 minutes. So just making sure that you're ready for that opportunity. And I want Hunter to be out there 40 minutes if he can. I hope that he's killing it. I don't want to ever prey on any man's downfall or whatever. I'm not jealous of that or anything like that. I hope Hunter gets.
Before we get back to Rock Chalk, I got to tell you guys about the best way to make money on sports. I've been in search of the best way to fire on sports for the last year or so. I've tried every sports book, all the different apps, but PrizePicks is the best way to make money on sports. On PrizePicks, you pick players and not teams. Each player has a set total stat projection. So let's say Patrick Mahomes has a higher or lower than 220 passing yards. If you think he's going to have more, you just click on more. When it hits, you make a bunch of money. And the best part is you can go to prizepicks.com/rockchalk and use the code ROCKCHALK for a 100% deposit match up to $100. That's prizepicks.com/rockchalk. Use the promo code ROCKCHALK for a 100% deposit match up to $100.
30 and 20 every game. That's perfectly fine with me. But, just making sure that I'm ready for whenever they need me is really kind of what I have embraced.
I think you both know this, but the season is so long and it's a grind. Like you said, you're one rolled ankle away from playing huge minutes and huge games. I think that's one thing that the maturity that you have and playing at other schools, being around success, you understand that it takes composure and it takes being ready. So you don't got to get ready, because this is a wild league and it's a physical league. And even in practice, we've seen it before where guys can step on somebody's foot and you can go from not having any problems with your roster to all of a sudden now Parker has to play 30 minutes and you've got that continuity with the starters to step in there and really play minutes. So I think that's so cool.
Yeah, not even just kind of on the court stuff. I think off the court is kind of something where I've tried to take more of like a leadership and role. Like you said, I've been around college basketball for so long. I've seen it all. And even though I wasn't playing here my first 5 years, you know, I still was around the program with Christian and all that kind of stuff. So I know how Coach Self is. I know what he wants. And, you know, I've seen college basketball forever. I know all the offenses, defenses that coaches throw and all that kind of stuff. So just trying to like bring guys up with me and, you know, like talk to the freshmen and make sure everything's going right off the court and try not to be an issue off the court, I think is something that like is pretty like valuable to a program, even though it might not be as flashy, you know, I think can be very valuable. So just bringing experience and bringing a lot of different things to the table, I think can be very valuable other than playing 35 minutes, you know.
Speaking of like your mentorship role, like you guys have multiple different freshmen coming off the bench that haven't played college basketball before, but you also have some really veteran guys with Hunter, with Dewan, I mean, even KJ, Kev, like those are some veteran guys. How do you guys try and pour into them and allow them to grow and follow after you?
I think it's a lot of leading by example. You know, those guys have, like you said, they've done it at this stage. So just kind of watching them and seeing how they do things is kind of the biggest way to learn, I think, in this program. You know, every day in practice, you see Kevin guard like 4 people at a time, and everyone's like, how does he do that? But it's really kind of watching him do it. He can't really like tell you where to be or what to be. A lot of that's instincts. Like you said, Hunter's been doing it for a while. So it's more just watching them rather than it is like them telling everybody, I think. No one really knows how to be at Kansas if you haven't been here. So just watching them and just trying to follow in their footsteps, I think is the best way to do it. You know, the freshmen have done a good job. It's not easy coming in and playing at a top program like that and having high expectations. You know, most of the times freshmen don't really play, or, you know, they have to earn their minutes. You know, a lot of the guys on the team now have just been kind of thrusted into a role that you don't really have an option. We only have like 8, 9 guys that can play. So just being thrusted into that role is very difficult, and you're kind of tossed into the fire at this point in this conference. And you don't really have much time to learn. So just making sure that you watch those guys every day and make sure that you're watching and seeing what makes them so successful and picking those little things up, I think is the best way to do it.